Hi, welcome to Piano Think. There's this great movie from at least 20 years ago called The Usual Suspects, and in which there's some kind of crime committed, and the police gather up the local bad guys who are probably the ones involved in the crime. And there's a lot of kind of what I call usual suspects in piano playing that I run into my own playing and my own teaching all the time. One of the usual suspects is octave playing when you're trying to be lyrical. Because octave playing in a lyrical setting will usually work against you. Octaves don't inherently make themselves lyrical. Octaves are better at kind of often a little bit more bombast. So like in Rhapsody in Blue, there's... it's kind of choppy and sassy. But in what I played earlier by Schumann, that's a much more lyrical passage. So let me show you how I made these lyrical, and let me show you what the suspect is. One of the suspects is the thumb, and because I have to play thumb over and over and over, which inherently is not going to be legato, it's going to work against you. So I can't make the thumb legato, but I can make the top a little bit more legato using 4 and 5 overlapping. So watch the top part of my right hand. But even that's not going to do everything. Now, from an earlier video, you might remember that legato means basically a combination of 3 elements, and that is overlap physically, which at this point with octaves I can only do somewhat, but then also use of time and especially use of shape. And that's where it's going to liberate this from sounding like octave playing to more like singing. It just happens to be doubled to make a rich tone, but this is not a passage of octaves. It's a beautiful melody. So I'm going to play the passage, and I want you to listen. When I have the long note, which I'm going to play louder, I always come in smaller for what comes behind it, and I also make sure I play through the bar line, so I'm manipulating both sound and time. If I have 2 equal octave sounds in a row, then it starts to sound like octave playing, or maybe in another guy's, this kind of octave playing. Kind of heavy and bombastic, which in this case is exactly what I don't want. So if you have octaves coming up in anything you're working on, keep in mind they're going to work against you unless you can temper them with time and shape and overlap as much as possible, but that will not be your first line of defense.